Hey, it's Bobby back for a quick video. I'm kegging my British Golden, which is a 5 gallon batch, and it's going into two 2.5 gallon kegs. And one of these is going home so I can enjoy it at home, and the other one is going to stay at the shop for sampling and uh, filling bottles for competition entries and things like that. The one that I'm going to have in the shop, I want to get ready to drink as soon as I can because I'm going to have to bottle some of these for a competition coming up. So I want it to clear as fast as possible. And this beer is pouring pretty nicely. It tastes great, but it's maybe hard to see. But there is a little bit of a chill haze still in here. Now, once I keg this, it's probably going to clear up in a week anyway, but a little extra insurance is to use a fining agent. I like to use a product called biofine, which is like a vegan fining agent as opposed to gelatin, which, if you want to get into a debate about whether you should disclose that there's gelatin in perhaps traces of your beer, uh, you know, I think it's ethical probably to tell people that there's gelatin in there just in case people are opposed to consuming it. So I like to use Biofine. It's also known under the brand name Silflock. So you add a small amount of this liquid, between 10 and 20 milliliters per 5 gallons. Since I'm only going to be dosing one keg, I'm going to be putting in 10 milliliters into a 2.5 gallon keg. Now, I do a completely oxygen-free transfer into my kegs. I'm not going to argue with anybody about, whether it's safe to open the lid and dump something in, but I do a full purge of these kegs, fill to the top with Star San, push it all out with CO2, and then the only thing remaining in these kegs is pure CO2 and absolutely no oxygen. So I'm not really interested in opening up the lid of this keg and dumping in the fining agent. So I've come up with a syringe connected to a ball lock connector to be able to push that material into the keg without any oxygen being introduced. And this little free flowing fitting here will let me suck the biofine into the syringe, and then I'll remove this, put it on the keg, and push the product in there so as not to introduce oxygen. Now, I like to suck some Star San into this to just be sure that everything is sanitary. So I'm going to do that. And I'll just leave the Star San in the syringe for about 60 seconds before I push it back out again. And then I put my fining agent. You could do this with gelatin that you've dissolved in water. And so I like to put that into a container so that I can push that hose barb into there and suck it up. Like I said, I'm going to be doing about 10 mils. Okay, so and then I like to push any air bubbles out by inverting the syringe like this, and then I go down to the 10 mils that I want to add. Okay, so this is 10 mils plus whatever is in here, but because when you push the plunger in, you're only going to be able to dispense the 10 mils between the plunger and here. So any remaining product is going to get stuck in here, which is excess anyway. All right, so one thing to realize is if you have any pressure in the keg that you're pushing into, you want to be sure to hold the plunger from popping out of the back of the syringe when you put the connector on there. You are able to go probably up to about 10 psi without any problem as long as you keep your hand over this plunger. There have been some ideas for modification, like drilling a hole through the base of the syringe and through the plunger and putting a pin in there. That would probably work. I'm not inclined to do it, but as long as you remember to keep your hand on the plunger, you're fine. I also, in this case, I'm going to be filling this with beer anyway, so there's no reason for me to leave that much pressure in here. Just vent that just a little bit. Just remember the in port is the gas, which is this what this connector is. I'm going to pop off the connector there, holding my hand on the plunger. Pushing it in all the way, and then pop the connector off, and that's all there is to it. It does want to push back. I have had about 8 psi in here at the time. Really was not that hard to just hold it back. You just kind of move quickly, and push it in there, and then disconnect it so that the pressure is relieved. And that's pretty much it. I'm selling these on brewhardware.com for about 20 bucks. There's really not a lot of profit in this assembly. I just did it to make it easy for people to put together. It's all like off the shelf parts, but it is a kit that includes that free flowing ball lock to hose barb that acts as like a little blunt tip needle to be able to suck the product in. So if you're looking for a solution like this, you can either build it in all the parts or buy my kit. And I really think this works great.